This headstone is newer than the ones I usually clean, but I picked his for a very special reason. I didn't get to know my Grandpa Barnes as much as I now wish I had. After he died, Grandma and I found a box of stories he had written about growing up in North Brookfield, New York during the Great Depression, on the same farm he raised my father, which is where I was raised, and that my brother owns today. I tell people this all the time, but if any of you have any kids or grandkids, write your memories down. They might not appreciate it now, but someday they will. My grandpa's stories taught his 16 grandkids so much about the man he truly was, and they're the best gift he could have given us. One of his stories was about this man, his very good friend, Parks Keith. I can find information about people's lives, but not necessarily who they were as a person, but this time it's different. With his family's permission, I'll read you what my grandpa wrote about him. You never knew Parks? What a damn shame. He was a legend without even trying. It just came natural. There are some people who carry a burden through life that other people can't imagine. Parks was one of those people. You just had to respect the guy. He helped more people than I have any idea, and many of them didn't end up in the old man's home because of Parks. He never trusted banks, carried his money in his pocket always. Would have been a real show to have watched someone try to rob Parks. He would have taught them a lasting lesson, I'm sure. We were logging on Gordon Hill and went over to visit Parks every night for an apple and a glass of cider. He would have the windows wide open, and when they finished their apples, would toss the cores out the window. One man didn't know Parks that well and didn't want to do the wrong thing, so he says, "Mr. Parks, what would you have me do with this apple core?" Parks, very carefully and slowly choosing his words, said, "Let go of it." The man was so shook he took the apple core home with him. Another time, Parks was out in the barn doing his daily dozen on the barn floor while milking cows, and a woman walked in on him. She stood there for a moment, quite embarrassed to see a man with his pants around his ankles squatting over the barn floor. Parks finally told her, "Lady, you're going to have to run, 'cause I can't." And she did. Parks would help cut his neighbor's wood before he did his own, and to insult him was to try to pay him for helping. Parks was one grand guy. He's long dead, but not forgotten by a long shot. He made his mark in this world in so many ways there's not enough room here to write it all down. A newspaper article I found from 1949 said some metal scrappers tried to steal a stove from his son's sap house, and Parks cornered them at gunpoint. The article went on to say, "To all you junk men and petty thieves, don't fool around with Parks Keith or anyone else in this vicinity. We have lead to throw away around here and know how to use it. We don't live up in this neck of the sticks as hayseeds and nitwits." Parks died at Harding Nursing Home in Waterville, New York on the 4th of July, 1964 at age 61 from hardened arteries, and is buried here in Brookfield, New York.